All right, good morning. Today we're going to learn how to make a scatter plot of our data. We took ice and we heated it to boiling, and we tracked how the temperature changed as the time went on. And so we saw that the temperature went up some places, it stayed flat some places, and we're going to make a graph of that. So this this template, you're going to click on the link that I have in Canvas, and hopefully you've downloaded it. You click on it and it says, do you want to make a copy? You say yes, make a copy. And so you'll have a copy of this. Here, just going to type your name. So Dr. Chen, what's your name there? And then we're going to start typing in times. Now, you're going to plot every 30 seconds. So you have 30, 0, 30, 60, and so on. It's kind of a pain to type in all the numbers for 30 seconds, 30-second intervals. And so there's a trick that you can use. If you start typing in the first couple and you highlight two of them, and then you take this little square down in the corner here and you drag that out, that'll give you every 30-second intervals as you keep adding. So that's a trick that you can use. You have to have the first couple using the same pattern, and then it keeps following that same pattern. So you can drag that however far you want to go. We're going to go to, I don't know, that looks good for now. And we can change that later as we need to. Then you're going to type in your data for temperature. So you should have some data written down for the temperature of the water as it goes. If you don't, then you got to make sure you get that down. But then, so we started at negative 8.9. And then we have, this is Celsius, so everything is in Celsius. And then we have negative 0.1, and so on. For today's sake, we're actually going to take some sample data. So I'm going to get some sample data and copy that into here. Okay, so let me find that real quick. There we go. So this is sample data. Go ahead and paste that in there. So it's a little different than what your data is going to look like, but it's okay. And then here, this column, we're going to put what happens to the water. Is it all ice? So at this point in the freezer, it was all ice. And here it was ice and water. Ice and water, and so on. So this data here was, like if it was all ice there, and then if it was a little warmer, then say all water, and so on. So, like make observations here. If it was boiling, put down it was boiling. And then whatever times we don't need, we can just get rid of. We just hit delete for those data points. And now we have some data set. You always want to start with the independent variable, the x-axis in the first column. And then you want to have the dependent or the y-axis in the second column. Now we're ready to make a scatter plot. So we're going to take the data. What you want to do is you take the data and you highlight all the data points that you're going to graph. So you highlight those right there, like that. And then we're going to hit Insert Chart. Insert Chart. And we'll see if this inserts. Okay. So there's a chart. It's not a scatter graph. It's a line chart. We don't want line chart because we want to see the actual points. We don't actually connect points in science. So we go scroll down to chart type, go to scatter. And there we go. All right, so now we can add a couple things into our data set. If we want to change the title, for instance, so let's say I want to change the title, I can actually change temperature of water. If I just want to say temperature of water, if I want to put my name there, Dr. Chen, let's see that. That's nice to see. If I see that, oh, these data points went too high, I can't see those data points. I can adjust this a little bit. So I can click on the y-axis. And then if I want to make the maximum value, maybe like 110. Okay, so now that changes that. So you can see it goes above 100. And now I can see all the data points on there and it leveled out at this point here. If I want to add some extra lines, this is 0, 250, 500, and I don't like how that's set up, I can double click on this. On the axis, the horizontal axis, and I can change, let's say the major steps, I want to make it 100 seconds. Every 100 seconds I have major steps, and I can see the different grid lines for every 100 seconds. If I want to see the minor axis, the minor grid lines, I can add that in there too. So I can go minor grid. This is the minor grid lines right here. So if I go minor grid lines, you can't see that because my face is covering it up, but that's how that would be, okay? So those are some things you can do to make a scatter plot for this, and then you can start analyzing the data and seeing what's going on here. We're eventually going to sketch. We have a visual now of the data, and we're going to sketch it into our packets, and then just start, or just like making some notes of what's going on in the data, what's going on with this data set, and what's the energy doing, what's the water doing. I'm also going to, when we start analyzing this, we actually took a flask last year, and we had a thermometer outside of the water, and we took a temperature of the outside of the water and got, what was the temperature of the steam that was being released afterwards. And that's also interesting data. We didn't do that here today. I just want you to plot this graph, but we'll also look at that. So, all right, good luck. And then you're gonna screenshot or take a picture with your phone of this graph and upload it to Canvas so I can see that you got that done and you can figure that out. All right, have a good day.